Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another video. My name is Kat, known as phamerina.planning here on YouTube and on Instagram. And today's video is a plan with me for the week of April 28th through Sunday, May 4th, using this kit from Starlight Paper Studio called Wings, foiled in gold. It gives me all of the fairy vibes. I have the base kit, the floral add-on, the deco add-on, and I think it's one of the journal pages. Not that it matters anymore because the kit's not available right now. Because she did completely revamp the shop at the end of 2024. This was released sometime in 2024. But I've been holding on to it because it's a very pretty kit. The cat on the page. How could I not get it? The little kitty playing with butterflies. That sold me. That full box alone sold me. So, since this is a switch of a month, I decided I wanted to try something different. Like I have been doing the whole moving the sidebar before the start of the month thing, and like when it's not on like one of the bookends of the pages, like the two pages, it like is very jarring to me if you think of the wintry night. Like it's a very pretty spread, but my brain gets caught on the fact that that sidebar is in the middle of the page rather than on the end of the page. So like that's why it worked for new beginnings in my brain, but not wintry night. And it took me a while to figure that out actually, because I like that sidebar, but it just doesn't like jive in my head. So to mitigate that, we're gonna, because the thing is, I think the first is when's the first? It's a Thursday. So technically I could have just put this where Wednesday went and we would have been fine. But I wanted to try something crazy. I wanted to take that bridge concept and like expand upon it. Actually, it's more like not the bridge concept, it's the double sidebar. I hadn't done one. I don't think I've done one in quite a while. I'm trying to think back if I've done a double sidebar in the center or even just one in general. But I don't think I've done a double sidebar for a little while, and I know I've never tried a double center sidebar. Um, so that's why I'm doing a double center sidebar because I want to try it out. I want to, expand my designs, if you want to call it, my spreads, diversify how they're looking so they don't look consistently the same every week. So this new thing we are trying this week is the double center sidebar. Um, and I've seen a few people do it where they use the lace washi, more often than the floral washi. I have seen people do it with the floral washi, but I've seen it done more often with the lace washi where they line the column with it, and I wanted to give that a shot just to really make this center area very special. Because it is. It's there's nothing like special about like this week. I don't believe so, besides the fact that it's the switch of a month. But I wanted to really do this double center sidebar like justice. So we have the stacked boxes, the one with the front view of like the castle or the mansion or whatever you want to call it, and then one of like the backside. So my vision is like that's the front of the castle. You walk through and there's the garden in the back. Let me tell you how much I love these little fairies with the little trails behind them. They are so much fun. Not those ones up in the corner, but the one on top of that floral right there. They're fun. I understand why people love the trails now. Like I don't think I've used anything with trails up until this point. I did use the ladybugs, but I didn't like use them to kind of insinuate movement. They were just like a piece of deco I was just using whenever I last used them. So those little fairy things, super cute. I love them. I want more of them. But this kit's no longer around, but I love them. Then I pulled in a lot of like butterflies, obviously. I got butterflies from Sadie Stickers, I have butterflies from this sampler. I did have the butterflies from Starlight Paper from the butterfly waltz collection, but I did a dumb, if you remember, and I bought them in premium matte paper, so I didn't want to use them. um, yeah, I just didn't want to use them. So I, what did I say? Sadie's Dash of Sun. Um, then I pulled in the. I feel like this was one of those spreads where I probably should have kept the foiled alcohol ink like reserved, because it's a little, to me it's a little distracting, not like a lot where I'm gonna rip it back up, but one of those like maybe I shouldn't have done it, because I actually had to go into my stash for the alcohol inks. This one, alcohol inks, one were from Dash the Sun. That one I pulled in, I think a purple and a yellow, not yellow, a green colorway from the Pretty Pinko. I do not remember the colors. Don't ask me. I don't think they might still be available for all I know, but and then I did bring in a few of the ones from the Bloom collection, any leftovers I had. I pulled in one or two of those from Saucy Stickers. And then to kind of pizzazz the center sidebar area, I decided to line it. Because I feel like I've lined my columns maybe twice now. I only kind of really do it in special occasions. And I was debating whether I wanted to completely line all of the columns. So while I was thinking about it, I was like, let me set down these bottom washies. And again, do I want them to connect in the middle, or do I want them to start on the ends? The answer was to start on the ends, because the ends had the little fairies on it. Thus that decision. And during this time period, I was like, all right, yeah, let's just fully commit and just line all of the columns. Except I think at this point I didn't line like the edges of the page yet, because again, I was thinking, do I want to carry that all the way across? Let's just like start putting the stickers down before we like make any real decisions. I feel like sometimes when it comes to like huge sparkly moments, um I kind of need to do it in pieces, just so that when I build up more of the page, I get to see whether it's too much or not. Remember the editing eye? Yeah, editing eye was kicking in, right? Not all of the ideas at once. So we pulled in some of the ideas, and then um start to incorporate them when the spread gets built up. So again, I don't believe, I don't really remember why I left the gap, but I wasn't about to pull everything back up again. I think, I don't know. Maybe I don't know if the spacing for the bottom washi is different. I feel like this is an older set of Sadie Stickers kits inserts, because these are completely undated. Um, but I don't know if like the bottom washi was has changed in size, or, well, I mean, I know different shops have different sizes for their stuff. um but I've been finding consistently that, oh, maybe you know what it is. I know what it is. It's because I like to bring the bottom washi all the way, well, as close to the bottom as I can get. um I feel like the more traditional way of doing it is to put the top bottom washi down first, and then put your bottom washi down, but that's not usually how I do it. I go I go backwards. Just cuz I like really like to fill the page. Like this one, it's like, well, that whole middle area is already filled, so we're just going to fill the whole page. Like, why not? Um and then the the one conundrum I was stuck with was, how do I do this top area now that I've decided I'm going to use the date covers. Sorry, that's a little ball. Um that I've decided I'm going to use these date covers. How am I going to fill in this middle area? Um which I did not have an answer to yet. So I decided to work I think I decided to work around the middle area first, and then come back to it once I was able to see how the rest of the sidebar was looking. Not sidebar, the rest of the middle. Maybe I just jump right into it. I don't really remember. We're gonna find out in a second. No, okay, I jump right into it. Um, so it probably was the other way around, where I was like, how am I going to um make this all come together, right? So I guess I worked on this base a few weeks ago, so I really don't remember what I was thinking at the time. To be very honest with you, I feel like, again, I probably was one trying to see what I could do to fill this out. Sorry, my brain my brain stopped. I guess my thought process at the time was, all right, let's build this out just so then we can figure out how we want to lay the rest of the deco for the day covers. And I also still needed to figure out how I was going to split one of these columns, um, and how much deco I was going to put up in this date cover area, because for consistency's sake, I like to bring the same concepts down to the split column area. And the solution was not a lot of deco, clearly. Um, and I think, playing with the pieces from the foil sampler, because this foil sampler was very specific to this kit. Um, and Yeah, I think that's all it really is at this point. Is just kind of throwing things down and seeing what happens. Um, and pulling foil in. So like I said, there's not really much of a intentional thought. Well, sometimes there is. Let me be real here. Sometimes I do know exactly what I want to do. And other times I'm like, I don't know. I guess we're just gonna let the stickers talk to us. Usually there is one part that is figured out. Like, is it the sidebar I figured out? Is it the fact that, like, as a whole, the spread is going to be tilted boxes, or is it going to be in the columns? Um, a lot of this spread, great, a car alarm's going off. Hopefully you can't hear that. A lot of this spread was kind of really following a rabbit hole. Um, Do I feel like it might be too much? Oh my goodness, that car alarm is still going off. I am so sorry if you can hear that. Um, Maybe. There's a lot of foil on here. I'm not going to lie to you. There's a lot of foil on here. But I kind of really like it. I made sure um to balance out all of the foil, right? The large areas of foil I have here, was to create pockets of deco, of mostly non-foiled stickers, so that your eye has somewhere to go to. Um, so that's why, like, I have this double box, or not double box, this double tilted box situation going on here, because I decided to split Monday and Tuesday up. Um, and I'm sure I'm sure no one would have noticed, except for the fact that I'm going to point it out now, that I believe when I I believe when I made the decision to do this double center sidebar, I was like, "Okay, Kat, you're not gonna make the same mistake you did with New Beginnings. You're not gonna forget to put the sidebar before the first." Um, And guess what I did? I forgot to ensure that the sidebar was before the first. And not that I have to explain myself, but what happened what happened was, as I looked at my notes for the week, and I was like, okay, well, two of these days next to each other are going to have to get split somehow. And I looked at the days as a whole, and I was like, well, realistically, the stuff on Monday and Tuesday, there's not a lot here. So I guess I'm gonna combine Monday and Tuesday together. And it wasn't until I think it was when I was working on this set of boxes here, I was like, oh no, Kat, you done goobered again. You done forgot to put the sidebar before the first of the month. I mean, I like how it looks. I'm not gonna I'll call it a happy accident at this point. But I did done goober because I intended I intended to have, what is it, Wednesday on this other page. But it's fine. It's fine. It all worked out in the end. I actually kind of like how this looks better. Um, with the 3 boxes on this side. Um, I'm not really sure why I like it better, but I do. Um, and yeah, so in like I said, to has where I started with this was I was saying to balance all of like this huge amount of foil. I kept the non-foil deco pieces together. So basically, I kept most of my boxes are mostly in the center of the center rows. There we go. Oh my goodness, that was so difficult for me to say. All of my boxes are basically in the center, and just throwing some alcohol inks around them, throwing some foil wherever it makes the most sense. Something, the foil to accent the boxes rather than be a standalone foil deco piece. Um, and that's pretty much like my base. Not much else. Just, I really wanted to make sure I pulled in more non-foiled elements into the spread just because there's a lot of foil. I definitely agree. It's a whole lot of foil. It's a very shiny spread. It's a shiny spread that makes me very happy. I really love it. And look at that cat. Look at the box with cat. It's so cute. Um, did I preface that this is the month with all of the purple floral kits? If you watched my kit lineup. Oh no, it was here that I realized it. Ugh, I was like, really, Cat, you goobered up again. The first is on whatever. But this is a month of purple kits with heavy floral themes in it. Um, I just really love this kit. I don't want to hoard it anymore. I want to use it. So that's kind of, I think this kit and the Pretty Pink Hose Lilac Dreams is what influenced the decision to have a themed month. I don't really do themed months, but I had a lot of purple because I am in love with the color purple. It's my favorite color. Um, and of course, there's butterflies and all this other stuff. So this kit has a lot of the things that I absolutely love and adore. So moving on. Now let's move on now. Let's get into the day by day. So Monday I had a coffee. Monday, so oh no, sorry, brain hold on, let me reset here. So Monday we start with a coffee. Monday, I walked out to my car, got in the car, and then backed out of the garage, and then the low tire pressure alarm came up, and I was like, "Uh-oh." So I pulled over and I kicked all of my tires, and they sounded good. So I was like, "All right, I'm gonna get to work, and then we're gonna come back and figure out what my tire pressure is when we get back." That I kicked my tires before I drove home. I was fine. I was like, but then we got back, and I had lost like 8 it was like 8 or 10 psi over the course of the day. So I was like, "Oh, okay, that's not good." So just something to keep an eye on. Um, when oh right, I, how could I forget I did this? I literally just did this the other day. I for some reason wanted to pull the frames in from Saucy Stickers. I don't really I feel like they really do match like the vibe of this kit, the antique frames, because it's like a manor, it's ornate. I think it matches. I just kind of wish I remembered to pull it into like I wish I pulled them out sooner so I could have pulled them into the sidebar. And of course I had to put the little kitty cat with the fairy wings. I wanted him in all of the places that I could put him, so I decided to put him inside the frame, and I think he turned out super stinking cute, and you can't tell me otherwise. Don't even try to argue with me. um, moving on. I don't anticipate anyone arguing with me, but like you can't change my mind on how cute that is. On Tuesday, I did some planner catch up. I don't even remember what that really means, to be very honest, but I think it's since it was the end of the month, and sometimes by the end of the month, especially if it's like kind of crazy hectic in my regular life, um, I kind of neglect my planner. So mostly that means like I forget to do meal tracking, I forget to do habit tracking. So that's probably what planner catch up meant. And then I started listening to Rotten Mangoes. It's a podcast. She also has a YouTube channel. This was right around the whole Ruby Frankie. I think a lot of like YouTube documentaries, the, docu the YouTube people who make documentaries. They were starting to they were starting to release their series on Ruby Frankie. Um, and I wanted to just get some more information about what was going on with the case and all of that. And the fastest way was for me to listen to documentaries on YouTube. And Rotten Mangoes had a I know it was 3 parts, but maybe now it was 4 parts series on the Frankie family. Um if you it's I don't really want to recap it. It's very heartbreaking to hear what happened with those children. Um but it's hopefully some laws come about family vlogging and protection for children happen because of what happened to these kids. Um if you want some resources, or at least some YouTube videos to watch, Swoop, SWOOP, she's great. I listen to the Rotten Mangoes podcast. Ruby Frankie, who is one of the daughters, she wrote a book. She narrated the audiobook, so I would greatly state that, or suggest that you listen and or buy the book and read it. Um, because this was the week I started reading the book or listening to the book, because it was easier for me to do an audiobook for that. But yeah, it's has a mom, has a human being. It was kind of heartbreaking to learn about what happened, but it's very important um that this stuff doesn't go unnoticed. So let me move on. um let me pivot here, to lighten the mood. Well, not really lighten the mood. On Wednesday, there was a product fill. We had spaghetti and meatballs that night, and it was a rough night for Bub. I don't really remember why, but it was a rough night. By rough night, it probably meant that I had to switch with my husband, because normally I put Bub to sleep, and then my husband only taps in if it gets really bad. By bad, I just mean he doesn't want to fall asleep, or like he's just really fighting it. And I've been in here for like over an hour and a half, so that's what rough night usually means. On Thursday was a paperwork day. I started the audiobook House of My Mother by Ruby Frankie. That's what I was just talking about. And then I finished the night with a planning sesh. Friday, I was also off work, but that was because during the week I would repump my tire, then drive to work and notice a low tire pressure. So whatever it was it was consistently leaking. And Monday to Friday, I was like, I'm not driving on this tire, because I had a tire blow out on me, and I was like, I'm not doing that again. So called our local mechanic. We was able to get in. He fixed it really fast. They said there was a small screw in my rear driver's side tire. They're like, it's all good now. Here you go. And I was like, that's great. So good thing I took off of work to get this done, because I didn't want to have to deal with it anymore. I did not want to continue driving on that, because I didn't want to get stuck. It was very sad. Um, so and since I was off, I did some editing at home. On Saturday, we went to the park. I cleaned out our kids' water table. We had ice cream at the local ice cream shop, and that night was full of really loud thunderstorms, like scary loud. Like I wouldn't have been surprised if Bub had stayed awake because of how loud they were, but he did fall asleep. He's like me. I like love listening to rain, and I fall asleep when it's raining. It's like some of the best sleep I get. On Saturday, no, that was Saturday. On Sunday, we did a Dunkin' run. I did some IG posts. It must have been a good nap day, because I probably, so normally when Bub goes down for a nap, I usually nap for about like 10-15 minutes and then get up and do other things. But I guess I stayed napping this day. And then I finished Onyx Storm that night. So that is the spread. Here are the leftovers. I love it. I love how shiny it is. I love how purple it is. Um and it was fun. It was fun doing this. It was fun trying something new. Um and yeah, I hope you guys love it. Let me know. That's the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, I would love it if you gave it a little like, leave a comment with any of your thoughts down below. And I would love it if you join my little channel here by subscribing. And I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.